My mom got me this for Christmas. It's so cute. I've been waiting like 8.5 years to make this video. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today, I'm going to be talking about Cinderella. Cinderella is a 2015 theatrical release, and it's about a live-action remake of Disney's animated Cinderella. So less the fairy tale, by Charles Perrault, and more a remake of Disney's Cinderella. And it is directed by Kenneth Branagh, cinematography by Harris Zambarloukos. I'm really sorry, I definitely butchered that. Editing by Martin Walsh. Music by Patrick Doyle, and it's written by Chris Weitz, based off the original fairy tale by Charles Perrault. I'm not going to do a breakdown of that because I've already done a breakdown of that. If you want to see it, go watch the Cinderella rewatch video. Very good. Highly recommend. One of my faves. For sure. The film stars Lily James as Cinderella, Cate Blanchett as Lady Tremaine, Richard Madden as Prince Kit, Sophie McShera as Drizella, Holliday Grainger as Anastasia, Helena Bonham Carter as the fairy godmother, Nonso Anozie as the captain, and Stellan Skarsgard as Grand Duke. In 2010, development began after Alice in Wonderland's success. The studio made a 7-figure pitch deal with Aline Brosh McKenna and Simon Kinberg, screenwriter and producer respectively. Chairman Alan F. Horn wanted to make a Cinderella for generations to come. He wanted one for the time capsule. McKenna's initial draft was kind of a swashbuckling take on the story. The prince was in an arranged marriage until he meets, Cinderella, who is a knight going after what she wants, including him after they meet. The idea got discarded because the studio wanted a more recognizable approach to the story. Then in 2011, Mark Romanek was brought on to direct. 2012, Chris Weitz was brought on to redo McKenna's script. In January 2013, Romanek left, citing creative differences, and that's when Kenneth Branagh was brought on. 2013, producers Alison Schirmer and David Barron were brought on. November 2012, Cate Blanchett was in deep talks, and she was the only choice for Lady Tremaine ever. In 2012, also, Saoirse Ronan, Alicia Vikander, I don't remember how to pronounce it, Gabriella Wilde, and Imogen Poots were all considered. In 2013, Emma Watson was considered, but she passed it on to do Belle because she didn't feel Cinderella resonated with her very much. In April 2013 is when Bella Heathcote, Lily James, and Margot Robbie were testing for the role. James got cast after originally auditioning for Anastasia. In May of 2013, Madden was cast as Kit, and the rest of casting happened over the course of the rest of 2013. Sandy Powell hired for costuming and was by far the biggest part of this film. She began work 2 years before principal photography began. I got a lot of stuff about her. She decided to veer away from the animated film for the fairy godmother, big white ball gown with lights in it. That was a huge thing. The sisters need to be ridiculous and overdone on the outside because they were ugly on the inside. So they're out, blah, blah, blah. Prince is modeled after Charming, but more fitted and less masculine colors. They chose some colors to specifically accentuate Richard Madden's eye color. The gown had to look lovely when she dances and runs away from the ball. I wanted her to look like she was floating, like a watercolor painting, is what she's quoted Sandy Powell saying. The dress was made of more than a dozen fine layers of fabric, a corset, a petticoat, and had 10,000 crystals in it. 18 tailors, 500 hours to make. 9 versions of the dress were made. Some were higher off the ground so she could dance and walk downstairs. Some were dragging on the ground for the shots that needed them to be dragging on the ground. It was all a lot of different versions. The wedding dress, she wanted to do something different. Lined shaped bodice and a long train. 16 people, 515 hours. To complete the silk organza hand-painted dress. While Lily was getting photographed in it, she stood too close to a heater and the dress caught fire and the outer layer had to be redone. I'm sure she felt so bad about that. They took inspo for the slipper from the movie. They used crystal instead of glass because glass wouldn't shimmer and shine in the light like that. Glass doesn't sparkle, is the quote. Partnered with Swarovski to make the shoe. They made 8 pairs, though none were wearable. Lily did wear leather shoes on set that were digitally made into crystal. Swarovski also provided more than 7 million crystals that were used in costumes and 100 tiaras for the ball scene. Filming started September 23rd of 2013, and they filmed everywhere, all over England. Pinewood Studios, Hampton Court Palace, Blenheim Palace, Windsor Castle, Cliveden, Old Royal Naval College, and Black Park. The main castle in the film was modeled after Swinger in Dresden, Germany. Post-production ran from December 2013 until August 2014. Crazy. Bonkerton. It has a tie-in novel. It had a $90 million budget, made $542.4 million on the box office, which is very good. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes consensus. Refreshingly traditional in a revisionist era, Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella proves Disney hasn't lost any of its old-fashioned magic. It was nominated for Best Costumes and didn't win. Absolutely bananas. Kenneth Branagh, the man that you are, thank you for this. Gilderoy Lockhart, thank you for this. I don't know if any of you know. I know you all know I love Cinderella, but this movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know what it is. It's a huge comfort to me. It rewired my brain. I'll talk about it some. I'm sure I might even get emotional. We'll see. But Kenneth Branagh, excellent work. What a great vision. Way to execute like such a perfect fairy tale. And I'm very excited to discuss it. Absolutely stunning. The cinematography in this film is breathtaking. Every lens choice, every shot choice. Oh, just except one shot. There's one shot I don't like. But anyway, literally so stunning. There's a shot, this is so silly, but when Ella is little and she's waiting outside the bedroom as her mother's being seen by a doctor, there's a shot of her feet in her shoes. And her toes are in the shoes, but her heels are popped out of the heels of the shoe, and the heels of the shoe are laying flat. Something we've definitely all done. I'm sure I got a screenshot of it because it's so important to me. And for some reason, the shot is just like, I love it. I think it is so real and perfect for like a kid. And it takes me back. I think the reason it resonates with me is because in the special features or commentary or something of Spirited Away, Hayao Miyazaki talks about when Chihiro puts on her shoes. She puts it like on her socks and shoes. She does like a little tap as she's like getting up and like putting her shoes on. And he said something about, you know, how kids put on their shoes and like paying attention to the little details like that and all that kind of stuff. And that just like has always stuck with me. And so when I watch Cinderella and I see this shot of like just her feet popped out of her shoes, it's just like, oh, it's so good. And then I also really love the scene where Ella and Kit meet and they're both on horses. That is some of the most beautiful, like it is so beautiful to look at. Like he looks stunning in his colors. She looks stunning on her dapple horse. Like it is, and then the way they're walking around in a circle and the way it's covered and who they cut to when they're, oh my god, it is such a perfect scene. I love that scene so much. And then I love that scene on top of it because they're doing the whole like, just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. Like their whole meeting is so good. And then the Lady Tremaine reveal with the hat to the camera. Oh my god, excellent. So good. And then my least favorite shot. My least favorite shot is when the captain and the prince are walking down the hallway after fencing. They've been fencing and Kit loses and they're walking down the hallway. They do a shot from the side and they have the captain in the foreground and the prince in the background, so to speak. And Richard Madden looks a foot tall because of how big the captain is, and it makes me laugh. So it takes me out of it. It's not a bad shot. It just takes me all the way out of the movie. It makes me giggle so much. But it's funny. I love that shot so much. I hate it, but I love it. Do you understand? Anyway, the movie is stunning. And then I saved coloring for miscellaneous, but coloring really does apply here. The colorist, did a fantastic job. This movie is so like colorful and beautiful and not like overly colorful, I feel like. The stepsisters have their pink and yellow, and it's just like, ugh. But then, like, Cinderella in her dress against the gold. Bye. Like, I don't... Toodles. Okay? I'm dead. It's just so stunning. Even the low light stuff, there's, like, this glow about it. It's just so good. It's it's really good. I like, especially like, I want to go back to the scene where Cinderella and, where Ella and Prince Kit meet, and they're having to edit between them like circling around each other and still get what everyone's saying and all that. I think they did a really excellent job editing that scene. And then also, I just think it's really well edited. The movie's long, so it's like an hour 45, but I never feel bored. You know, the movie's from point A to point B, and it's all feels important, like the stuff of Cinderella when she was young, leading up to what we get, like, and that flies, like, that's really quick, it feels like, but it does take up a decent chunk of the first part of the movie. And like, she doesn't meet the prince until a decent chunk of the way in the movie, but she meets him before the ball, which is really helpful, and just like, what they did is excellent, and everything felt important and cause and effect, and it was really good. And I think the editor did a really nice job. There are multiple scenes that I just like. The first dance is edited so well, like when he puts his hand on her back and she's like, you know, like, oh, so good. The music is perfect for the film. A little, I feel like, out of Patrick Doyle's realm. I mean, like, I know he did Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, so that's my biggest familiarity with Patrick. I know he does a lot of Irish sounding stuff because he's Irish. That's my understanding anyway. But this is so beautiful. It's so, I love how the lavender's blue, dilly dilly lavender's green became part of the theme of the music. So good. My biggest complaint is they don't have Cinderella ever sing A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, like even a piece of it a cappella in the film. Lily James does have a studio recorded version that appears in the credits, but it's very produced, and I would have loved to have heard Lily James sing it a cappella. In the film, there is a Sweet Nightingale reference, which is nice. She's, you know, going to get the chicken eggs and feeding some of the chickens and stuff, and she's going, sing, sing, nightingale. Just like under her breath, how people like sing while they're doing stuff. And I love that that was like the little Sing Sweet Nightingale mention. I thought that was fun. But I would have loved to have seen, even if it's a similar moment where she's just like singing under her breath, A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. I would have loved to have seen that, but I'm not mad. I didn't miss it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel the movie's lacking because they didn't have that. I just really like, I've been like, come on. But they do have it in the credits, and it is Lily James singing it. And it is good. It's just like really produced. It's like really like kind of popish version of it. And I would have liked to have heard her sing it like the way she sings Lavender's Blue, Dilly Dilly Lavender's Green, because that is so pretty. Oh my gosh. There are 5 parent deaths. Both of Cinderella's parents, both of Kit's parents, and the stepsister's dad. I swear they say that Prince Kit's mom died, but they might not actually say it, and if so, my apologies, but I'm counting it, because I'm sure I've missed a parent death in the past, and it'll all come out in the wash. I'm human, okay? Human error. Leave me alone. And then the movie, guys, if it's not obvious, I love this movie. It resonates so deep in my soul. I don't know what it is about Cinderella, but I love it. Cinderella is one of my favorites, and I think this version is just, it's so magical. It captures the magic perfectly. There's so many moments, like have courage and be kind being the theme of the movie rewired my brain, okay? I saw this movie when it came out in theaters, and the story, it's so good. The things they added with her meeting him beforehand really solve a lot of other problems. I wouldn't say she's an inactive character at all. She has what she wants. She's very kind and sweet. You know, she even says it. Kindness is free. Love is free. I've done nothing but try to be kind to you. And just, I get emotional thinking about it because, like, I don't know, it's so sweet and so good, and it's like, I would love to be the epitome of that, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to have courage and be kind, you know what I mean? And then other lines, well, another line that really resonates is, just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. And, like, that could apply to so much stuff, you know, especially in this era of the world. Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. Like, it's just, oh god, it's so good. the voiceover is pretty consistent. It lasts for a while in the beginning, and there's a little window where we don't have so much of it because stuff is happening, but then it comes back. So like I'm never mad that it's like, oh, there's a voiceover line right at the beginning, that's it, and then we have it again at the end. It's pretty consistent through the whole front half of the movie, and then it kind of disappears to let stuff happen, and then it comes back. So it was good. Like, it kind of disappears, kind of actually, I feel like, when the fairy godmother actually shows up, because she's the narrator. So now that I'm thinking about it, it actually is kind of pretty consistent throughout. I cried watching this. Not even when I thought I would cry. I thought I'd cry maybe like at the end when she says, "I forgive you." Because that, I could cry now. That gets me every time, dude. But I cried early. I cried when they were meeting, just because I was so excited to finally be watching this for this project and to be able to talk about it. So I cried then, so then I cried like multiple times throughout, just because I was like, it's so pretty, and I love this movie so much. It's one of my favorite movies ever, so I just like, I love it so much. Other lines that are really good: names have power. So like when they come up with Cinderella and she goes downstairs and she drops the stuff and she like looks in the teapot, and the narrator, you know, names have power. You know, it's so true. Like, it's so true. I think that's why it affects me so deeply. Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. Have courage, be kind. And then lines that, like, I think are funny and cute are, "Oh, no one's ever painted my portrait." No? Well, they should. Like, that's so smooth and so good. And then, "I was having a fine old time and you had to go and choose that one, didn't you?" Yes, I did. Like, that's what you want to hear, you know? Like, his confidence and sureness and like, "Yes, I did. That's the girl I'd choose." It's just so well done. I think it's a really effective fairy tale without, you know, people's biggest thing is like fairy tales are misogynistic, or, you know, that's not how women are, or whatever. They all exist. Like, right? That's a big thing happening right now. Like, all the hatred towards Snow White, the live action Snow White coming out. The woman playing Snow White had some bad press for a minute there, where she kept kind of like, for lack of a better word, shitting on the original, and kind of saying Snow White, you know, what, this one is better because she's not a damsel in distress and blah, blah, blah. And people were having a negative reaction to her saying stuff like that, because they're like, well, hang on a second. Like, feminism is about all women and genders. It's about everyone being equal and women having the choice. So, like, women can be extremely feminine and dainty and all this kind of stuff. Great. But women can also be very burly and worky and whatever, and everything in between. They can be whatever they want, and they can change their mind. They can be super dainty, you know, whatever, damsel in distressy, and then like the next day they can be like, "Get out of my freaking way, I've got it." Like, that's the point. And so people were having like a 180 on this girl. I forget her name. Rachel Ziegler? Is it Rachel Ziegler? Having a 180 on her about the way she was talking about the old Snow White, the original Snow White, and how it almost feels disrespectful. And like the exact opposite of the whole point, right? So people are having a negative reaction because they like pushed too far into that. Does that make sense? Like, they pushed too far into like, women don't need men, which is true, but like, the point is you can have all of it. So like, you can have a new princess who doesn't need anyone, right? And is capable and fine, or is, God forbid, gay, or, you know, whatever. Like, who doesn't want children, who doesn't want to get married. All of it exists. And then you can still have the princess like Snow White who is being abused and needs to run away and needs help being taken care of, and then also falls in love with the prince who saves her. Like, that's alright. Like, all of that's okay. Anyway, so my whole point of saying this is I think the live action Cinderella does a really great job of keeping the original spirit of like escaping something, while also showing that she's not helpless. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good balance, where I feel like this new Snow White that's coming out, everyone is pushing so hard against because they went so far in the opposite direction and are like shitting on the original Snow White, which, don't do that. Snow White for a reason. Like, let's not shit on Snow White. Okay, so I feel like, you know, people push so far this way in the, like, equilibrium. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not making any sense. Anyway, I think this movie does a really great job of capturing the heart and magic and essence of the animation while also putting its own twist, like making her meet him first, and she's not helpless. She does a bunch of stuff, and she's just like all about having courage and being kind, and just, oh, I love it so much. Anyway. Okay, so I genuinely think everyone is good in this. I think everybody does a fantastic job, but Cate Blanchett as Lady Tremaine is standout. She is so excellent. Her laugh, the way she is cruel, but you can tell it's coming from somewhere. So good. Oh, I didn't really talk about it in the writing, but the I forgive you moment. Oh my god. It's one of my favorite moments because the whole point of the movie, like, Cinderella is like, have courage and be kind, have courage and be kind. And then to like be leaving the house and turn around and see her stepmother and say, I forgive you, and leave. Oh my god, it's so good. It's just so perfect and very moving and very emotional. But anyway, and Cate Blanchett's reaction to that, like, it's like devastating to her, you know what I mean? She's like, oh no, like, I've been wrecked by the kindest person. It's so good. I talked about the costumes a lot during pre-production and all that, but the costumes are ridiculous, let's be honest. So stunning. Like, Cinderella's dress, magnificent. I know there was a lot of backlash at the time about the fact that she was in a corset, so her waist looked really small and it was setting unrealistic beauty standards and all this kind of stuff, which I totally get because I am not a small person, and so, like, I get how that's damaging and everything, but as long as they're open about the fact that she's in a corset and they're not trying to pass it off as a real waist, like, and then obviously she's in a ball gown, so like it juts out and makes her waist look even smaller. So I feel like corsets were real, they did happen. I feel like it's only, you know, yeah, sure. And it's not like they were trying to hide it. They were very open about the fact that there was a corset in there. It's not like they were like, this is Lily James's real waist. Also, have you seen Mamma Mia 2? Mamma Mia 2 is, I highly recommend Mamma Mia 2 for Lily James alone, so go give it a watch. So I know we've talked about the costumes, but the set design, are we kidding with the set design? The house is gorgeous. All the art, the paint, everything in the house, so stunning. I've heard multiple times that one of the paintings in the house is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I can't pinpoint which one it is, ever, when I watch, and I look for it every time. I think I know which one it potentially is, but I don't get it. And then the ballroom, those chandeliers were all real candles, and they were all really lit. That ballroom was real. They built it. They lofted those chandeliers. Everyone, as you heard earlier, were in real costumes, wearing real Swarovski crystals. Absolutely insane. So well organized and actually breathtakingly beautiful, which I think is why a huge chunk of this movie is so effective. I know, like, digital is great and green screen is great, but I think it helped the actors immerse themselves better, even the, like, extras, because everyone was dressed up like that in a room that looked like that, and there was a real orchestra playing. Like, it was real. They all were doing that. And, like, Cate Blanchett is in the bonus features saying, you know, when Lily and Richard were dancing for the first time, there was, like, not a dry eye in the house, and she was like, I just wanted to weep, but I had to be there being like, she was like, it was so hard, because it was so magnificently beautiful, and I just, oh, and it's so true, it's just magnificently beautiful. I just, oh my god. The favorite part is really hard, because I love this movie, I love every piece of it, So I'm gonna go with when Prince and Ella meet, because I just love that scene. I could watch that scene over and over and just dissect it and be obsessed. I love it so much. My least favorite part, tough, but I'll go with that shot I don't like of Richard. Where he looks this big. It's so funny. His head is like all the way at the bottom of the screen. It's hilarious. That one, I guess. Recommend. Absolutely. Watch again, always. I watch this more than once a year, probably. I love this movie so much. I actually just went through like a little Cinderella kick on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, I watched 3 of the Cinderella stories, and then I watched a Norwegian Cinderella film that was really good. So I watched 4 Cinderella movies in the same day, and then this week I watched, this week for me, not for you, obviously, because you're getting this in February, but this week then I obviously got to watch Cinderella. So big Cinderella kick recently. Okay, specific moments. This is when I want to tell you the story of, so I saw this in theaters, and I saw it with my family and my grandma, and I was like moved. I was moved to tears. I loved it, and we're walking out of the theater, and bless my grandma, rest in peace. She goes, "That never happens in real life," and it just like totally squashed me in that moment. I felt very like crushed that she would do that, because like obviously I know that doesn't happen in real life, right? But like, let me live in it. That's why we go to a movie, to escape reality. Like, it just... So I felt very crushed and heartbroken that she said that at the moment. And then I actually didn't see that movie again until I was moving to Los Angeles. I moved to LA in 2016. And in May of 2016, toward the end of May of 2016, I had gone home at the beginning of May to like get the rest of my stuff, because I did an internship from January to the end of April. And then after that I went and like took more stuff, right? Sorry, I was zoning out about my internship. I took more stuff and we RV'd. So we were in an RV with my mom, my stepdad, and Xander. And we were staying in this RV park in California, just close to where I would be living. Close-ish to where I'd be living. And their little like shop at the RV resort had like DVDs you could rent. And one of them was the live action Cinderella. And I said, "Oh, I want to rent this." And Mom was like, "Okay." And that night I watched it, and I like, this sounds so dramatic, but I don't know, it hit me. I think maybe because I was moving to Los Angeles, so it was at a very, like, I'm growing, I'm open to stuff moment. It, like, changed me. It sounds so stupid. I have never, like, finished a movie and been like, okay, I'm starting it over immediately. It's normally, like, I might watch it again the next day, or, watch something else and then go back to it or whatever, but I've never, like, finished the movie and then just immediately restarted the movie again. And I did that because I was like, I need to watch this again and again. And it ever since has been such a comfort and magical feeling for me. And I love it so much. It's just everything that speaks to me, I think. Just like, I don't know, I just love it. I just really love it. Sometimes there's just like a magic part of it. You don't know why you love it so much, but you do. And I do. And I love it. And I can't wait to watch it again. Yeah. And then I think also because now I've watched the behind the scenes. I've watched the behind the scenes many times. And even they were feeling the magic when they were making it. Like, one of my favorite behind the scenes moments is they've just finished the first dance at the ball for the first time, and the behind the scenes people are filming Lily, and she comes over and she goes, "I think I've just fallen in love with Richard." Like, it's just so magical out there. And it's like, to be immersed in that, it's just so, it comes off, and I love it. I love that. It's my favorite. Anyway, I keep getting emotional about Cinderella because I love it so much. And then a funny thing is, the guy that paints Prince Kit, he, this is so stupid, but he's kind of rude, and he gets up on a swing and then lowered on a swing so he can paint right, and he's getting lowered and he gets on the ground and he goes, "I am on the ground, I'm literally on the ground. I say that in my daily life, and people never know what I'm quoting because it's the most random line in this movie. So like I'll be like, I'm on the ground, I'm literally on the ground, if I'm on the ground, obviously. And people will be like, what? And I'm like, it's from Cinderella, leave me alone. Like, just... So I thought you'd enjoy knowing I quote that. My final rating is... Oh, no, I thought it'd be funny to tell you guys, when the movie started, I wrote so many notes immediately because I already know the movie. I watch it so much. So I'm sitting there and I'm like typing all my notes as I'm like screenshotting. Oh, and Aubrey got me this like little keyboard where I can make a screenshot just one button, which has vastly improved my life because it's 3 buttons to take a screenshot on the computer. And so now it's just one button and it's Bluetooth, so I can like sit back and just like... Anyway. I'm like sitting there writing all these notes for like the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. I'm not even like, because I already knew so much I wanted to write about because I've thought about making this video for so long. And Aubrey was laughing at me. I like started, I'm like, you're laughing that I'm like writing notes in only like 5 minutes of the movie. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, great. Love that for me. Anyway, my final rating, it's 10, okay? It's 10, which I mean, glass slippers. We have to, I know I've probably already done it, but 10 glass slippers out of 10 our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. Our cry count is. If you want to keep up with Movie I'm Watching When, follow me on all socials. Friday Movie I'm Watching When. I put out videos every Monday and Friday, sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. We get every video a week early. Tiers above that, you get daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, you know, all that good stuff. Go check it out. Buy merch. This is not merch. I just needed to wear a Cinderella shirt, but I have a new merch company, so there's lots of new colors, and it's a little bit higher quality. It's nice, so go check it out. Go buy some. Thanks so much. Means the most to me. Thank you. Okay. Until next time, I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you, and don't be... What? Until next time, you do you. Right? What? Bye, merch. So until next time, you do you, but I'm not in charge of your life, so... Wait. What do I say? Why am I short-circuiting? Follow me on all social media, putting out when. I'm short-circuiting right now. I put up videos every Monday and Friday, sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon, buy merch. Until next time, comment, like, and subscribe. But I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you do you, and don't be the Grand Duke about it. Or Lady Tremaine. My God. Where did my brain just go? Whoo! That'll be entertaining.